I'm gonna tell you something that you don't normally hear people say. You don't hear people say that they actually want to associate or hang out with the wrong kind of people, toxic people, people that are unhappy, miserable, boring, or just plain out disrespectful. On the other hand, I believe that we all want to attract and associate with the right kind of people. Now, the problem is that you have a lot of people that want something for nothing. So, in other words, they want to attract the right kind of person in their life, but they don't want to be the right kind of person. But if you want to attract quality people in your circle, in your life, that means you have to shift your way of thinking. You have to shift for how you see yourself without becoming somebody that you're not. Now, let's start with this. Let's talk about why you might be attracting and continue to associate with the wrong kind of people. If you're sitting right now in a reality that you're associating with the wrong kind of people, then the reason why is that you might be thinking less of yourself. All right, so what I'm saying is that how you see yourself, right? Your identity, how you rate your sense of self-worth, those are the same kinds of people that you're attracting. So you have to understand that like attracts like. So how you carry yourself, how you see yourself, good or bad, then you're attracting other people of that same nature. So you have to understand that looking at this another way is that we all don't want to associate with people who are just different than who we are. So if you're hanging around somebody that's different from who you are, then it's not going to make hanging out with that person very much interesting. So on the other hand, if you see yourself as a certain way and you attracting other people, you see yourself as a not so much of a quality person, but you attract people of that same nature, and being the fact that misery loves company anyway, and you have somebody with the same characteristic traits as you do, who looks at life like you do, then that makes it interesting on your part, because we naturally want to hang out with people who are more like ourselves. Now, the problem with hanging out with the wrong kind of people is that it doesn't bring you happiness. It doesn't bring you long-term happiness. Yeah, you might share some unfortunate misfortune with that person that you had in your life, and that person might be sharing the same thing. But if you and that person are constantly venting about your frustrations all the time, and you're not really, I mean, you thinking less of yourself, and that person thinking less of themselves, then you're not going to get nowhere. I mean, you're going to continue to keep venting out your frustrations without really, turning your life around. And the more you hang around the wrong kind of people, the further it's going to hold you back from finding the right kind of people in your life that makes you feel more fulfilled. So the first thing is that you want to take any disempowering belief, how you see yourself, and you want to turn that around. You want to turn that around and turn it into empowering beliefs. When you have empowering beliefs about yourself, that means that what I'm saying in this case is that you want to see value. You want to see value in your personality. The kind of personality that you displayed at one point in your life that brought you genuine fulfillment. Think about that person that you were that brought you genuine fulfillment, and what were you doing at that time? See, having confidence in your personality that brings you fulfillment, that's what's going to cause you to attract the right kind of people in your life. Because sometimes whenever we go through bad times, whenever we have a hard time in our life that makes us unhappy and it makes us miserable, then we simply just forget who we are. Because once you start forgetting who you are, you're going to start thinking less of yourself. You're going to have all these limiting, disempowering beliefs about your personality trait. You might feel like you don't deserve happiness in life. So the more you feel like you don't deserve happiness, then you're not going to attract happiness. So I want you to start seeing yourself as a quality person. All right. Look at your traits that you have within inside yourself. Have you always been known to be very creative? Have you always been known to help other people? So whatever personality traits, character traits that you displayed beforehand, you want to relive that identity. And this is being who you are. This is not being somebody that you're not. Because you can't attract the right kind of people if you're displaying the wrong kind of personality, the wrong kind of identity. So the more you focus on your character that you displayed beforehand, and you feel that being that person, that personality has brought you fulfillment, and you can also say you felt good about yourself, whatever it was you were doing at that time, you want to relive that identity. So whatever that identity is, you want to relive that identity. You want to be that kind of person. Leave the old self behind. Leave the old negative self that you don't deserve happiness, that you think less of yourself. Leave that person behind and start believing in the value that you have as a person. Now, the more you start living by your identity that you're very much proud of, however you define yourself that made you feel good before, once you start living by that person, then you're going to start to attract those kinds of people of the same nature. Because it comes right back to these basics again. Like attracts like. That's the basics. That's the basis of law of attraction. You're going to attract people that's of the same similar nature as you are, whether that's good or bad. So once you start living by an identity that you're very much proud of, you're going to start to see those same kinds of people come right into your circle. Whether you're looking for new intimate relationships or looking for new friendships or people that you just want to simply just associate with on a once in a while basis, whatever. See, all kinds of good things happen to you when you start believing in yourself, because your whole life, your happiness determines on how you look at yourself, determines on your level of self-worth. So if you think less of yourself, you're going to attract less people. You're going to attract people that also think less of themselves. But once you start thinking high of yourself, once you start really believing in yourself, those are the kind of people that you're going to attract. Now, you might not have as much friends as you had beforehand when you was attracting toxic people, but you have to understand that when you let toxic people go, when you let those kinds of people go, you make room for the right kind of people to come into your circle. All right, because oftentimes we hang out with people, when we think less of ourselves, we hang out with people of the same nature, but at the same time, that it's not bring you long-term fulfillment, and that's what we're after. So if you want quality, see yourself as quality. Get rid of those disempowering beliefs that you have about yourself that's not bringing you happiness, and start thinking more high of yourself and live by that identity. And then you're going to start to see the right kind of people coming into your circle. All right, so this is all I'm gonna leave for you for this evening. And if you like this video, by the way, I want to encourage you to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, because I do put out content on an often basis. So until my next video, I want to wish you an awesome self-esteem, and I will talk to you next time around.